Nunca nos han separado. Seguimos siendo familia. Un y medio. Okay, the next one. I was 16, 17, 18.
I think I was 18.
Once upon a time you were 18.
Good morning. Good morning. My childhood story is a very helpful in my call to becoming a deacon someday. I was born with 6 sisters, and I'm the only boy, and 3 older sisters, 3 younger sisters, so we can say I'm the only thorn among the roses. And because of that, I was always in the wilderness, outside of home, because I don't have a brother. And also, I don't want them to dress me like a girl. And growing up, a little child, my mother was a very prayerful, devoted Catholic. She always required us to pray the rosary each night, kneeling down. So very, very strict. But as a teenager, I learned a lot of evil or bad influences from friends and the world I see outside. So I learned all those bad stuff, but I also learned some good things. Like I learned how to play guitar, which later on I was able to use it in the ministry, in the choir, and so I thought that my life's journey was really God's way of transforming me. I was very obedient with God. I found out because the woman I married was we were neighbors when we were very little. So right there, I was obedient to God's command of loving thy neighbor. But during those times that I'm in the wilderness, I could have killed more than twice in my life, or got killed myself more than twice in my life. So when God called me, I just gave my all to Him. He gave me so many chances. Thank you.
Very long.
He spoke 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Almost 3.
Almost.
Thank you. Very good.
Can I have a comment?
Yes.
That I noticed that all the people that didn't write their script go over the time, big time.
Oh, that's an interesting, how do you call it? Observation. So it is possible. It is also possible to stay to the time even if you don't write it. We just it just happens to be that way here.
Yeah.
Pero sí se vale que a veces la gente no escribe y se queda el tiempo, pero es más la tendencia cuando uno no escribe pasarse.
Oops.
That's a good one for the 1 minute. Can you do it?
I'm sitting there working a field and I got to hear my text come in. I apologize for that.
No, but if you said it for the 1 minute, that'd be great.
Yeah, because Father, without a script, you could get carried away.
Yes. Some people wish you were sometimes carried away. You see, that's a point. So, tell me the difference. A ver, ¿cómo empezó Román? ¿Cómo empezó?
Con el título.
Título, all right. So he gave his topic, his title. And then, what was it?
Somos familia, seguimos siendo familia.
Family? And then, where'd he go? Where'd he go?
La historia,
El tema.
el tema, lo que pasó.
¿Qué era el tema?
Pues que su hermano y él, y que hacía enojar a su hermano.
¿Lo hacía enojar?
Terminó siendo familia. Terminó.
No, pues familia era.
Familia era, pero o sea, que explicó qué fue lo que pasó.
¿Y qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó?
Bueno, que lo hacía enojar y que le abrió la cabeza.
Okay.
Y eso lo subió.
An accident?
No, it was no accident.
You're not allowed to speak. Does accident have
It was,
to
it was an intentional accident.
¿Aldrede? Aldrede.
Padre, como decía el Chapulín, sin querer queriendo.
Así fue. Ok, un guamazo en la cabeza. Hubo sangre, right?
Sí, sangre.
This was very graphic.
Drama.
Yeah.
Un romance, pues.
It was yeah. Y luego, hospital,
Acción se hizo.
hospital. The sister had something to do with it.
He was trying to save his blood.
Hermano ahora es cazador.
And then reconciliation because of the parents.
Reconciliation. Parents were involved.
Now they live happily ever after.
Then
United as a family in the end.
there is peace. Some hope. He left us feeling good or bad?
Good.
Good?
Very good.
There's a good feeling. It was a happy ending, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you were able to follow him? Did we lose him at any point? No? What made it interesting?
La sangre. La sangre.
That's very important. I mean, that's graphic and it's interesting. We like to see blood. ¿Por qué tantas películas tienen sangre? Porque la gente más antes no estaba permitido. Ahora entre más sangre mejor. I don't know if you've noticed that there's been a trend in Hollywood and it's more and more blood. The more the better. And it's very graphic. And the children are looking at that. But I remember, I have a lot of the Alfred Hitchcock and Twilight Zone. Every time there's a murder, they turn the camera away. You never see that, no? Sometimes you see this, but you never see what they're doing. Could be stabbing a pillow, but you never see that. And now we see it, no? Híjole. So there is you were very graphic there. You were modern in your description. I could just see the blood going into the
Bucket.
Híjole, into the bucket. Así matábamos los chivos. Primero los sangrabas, ¿no? Con la daga aquí.
Lo que quería decir que es bien sangrón.
Y le queda mucha. Okay, please. How did Ellie start?
Gaby. The only one.
Gaby. How did Gaby start? ¿Cómo?
His family, his vocation.
The same thing?
Talk about location.
Loving his neighbor.
What are you using?
Pastor Angel.
That's water?
Yeah, he needs to dry.
Ah.
He needs to dry. Rust.
The fire.
That's a café.
Benny sopla, man.
You doing it?
Erase that, you might as well. I did it wrong.
Take your time.
Don't hurry. Thank you. He whispered in my ear that he wants a better grade for this.
He does that with all of the professors.
So there was family involved, and then?
Friends.
Where'd he go?
Talk about his sisters and how he was brought up.
Sisters? How many?
6.
6 sisters? Very Catholic. And then?
Went to the wilderness.
Why?
Looking for a brother.
He was looking for a brother. Wilderness.
But he had an eye on a neighbor.
Escaping the family wife.
But why did he go to the wilderness?
He didn't want to get aggressive.
There was fear.
There was too much estrogen in the house.
I'm gonna put para escapar. Se fue para allá para escapar por las tantas hermanas que tuvo y tenía miedo que su madre le pusiera también un vestidito. And so what else?
Went to his friends.
By the way, was this something that we would consider very personal when he was speaking, or could it have been about anybody? Very personal, right? And so, was it boring? Interesting? What made it interesting?
The fact that it was his personal experience.
The fact that it's personal, okay? Had a pretty good use of language. Okay? Here's something that we use when we're children a lot. This phrase. And though it's a filler, and especially if we're, and in Spanish, verdad.
¿Me entiendes?
Verdad, right?
Y también el chiste que metió en la anécdota,
Sí.
llamar al vecino. Ese,
¿Cómo se te quedó? Ajá, se quedó. So, he had something that he had a twist. He had a twist. And it made it humorous. And humor is always very powerful. Okay, got exactly what he wanted. And so his neighbor happened to be his future wife. Now, if he would have loved the ones on both sides of his house, right? So there was definitely a touch of humor there, and that made it powerful. It was working for you. Abby, very good. What parish are you from?
Holy Spirit.
Oh, mira nomás, no wonder. I knew you were in the area. Because you come to deanery meetings, right?
Yes.
No wonder. No wonder. Okay, and then how did he conclude?
Well, he concluded with his presentation of the Lord. You know that how he, he kind of ended with the fact that that's how the Lord had worked in his life to bring him where he's at today.
So there was something about the call. How was that? How did it work?
Well, before that, he started to inject about his friends and the influences from his early years into the evil wilderness.
Good and bad.
Okay, some friends here and back to the wilderness, right? Right?
Yes.
There was a real danger here that we would have blipped. Okay, that he would have lost his audience because he went back to and the collective mind tends to make a sandwich. And so when you have the beginning, you mention a topic and you mention it at the end, everything in the middle gets forgotten. Gets forgotten. There's preachers that will start with a biblical quote and then recall it at the end. We feel good about it because we remember, but we forget everything in between. So it's a real danger. You're risking. You're risking when you go back to the topic of the wilderness. There, you had a recollection. But because it's personal, we're following him. This is his testimony. Cuando es un testimonio personal, siempre vamos a seguir a la persona y puede cambiar. Casi es uno a uno, porque estamos con él. Estamos ahí como si lo estuviéramos reviviendo con él. It's like listening to the joke or to había una vez, and we're listening. He's got our attention because it's a personal story. ¿Me explico? Yes, sir.
And
en el número 157 del Evangelic God, habla de lo que nos está enseñando, de usar la imagen, y se lo puedo leer nada más rápidamente, donde dice: una buena homilía, como me decía un viejo maestro, debe contener una idea, un sentimiento, una imagen. It's pretty much what you
Very
said.
good. Yeah, yeah. But what I'm saying is, be careful with the repetition.
Yes.
Like if you start with an image, and you want to end with the same image, to be careful, because they're going to forget everything in the middle. Yeah.
Now, Monsignor,
Yeah.
in this case, his visit back was more of a hook. Is that something that will...
Quote?
No, a hook. In other words, he
hook.
went back to state that even though he was back there with his friends, he was able to pick up playing the guitar, which is now assisting him with his ministry.
Right.
So I believe that was the purpose of his going back over and saying, by the way.
I understand, but he was running the risk.
Yeah.
That's why there's a little bit of a blip. You're having trouble remembering what he said right in here. Not everybody remembered.